Check my crown. Welcome to the Crown Catch podcast. We're your hosts, Aneesa and Robbie. We're so glad that you're back with us to review episode 1 of Queendom 2. In 3 words, I'm always do this. How did you feel about this episode?
I actually have 3 words today. This is great.
Ooh.
Those are my 3 words. This is great.
Perfect. Mine were, we needed more.
That's true. That's true too.
So where should we start off? I mean, honestly, episode 0 was episode 1 without the first stage performances.
Yeah.
I think they showed us a little bit too much. I don't know if this episode of the review will be long because we've seen majority of it. They only cut us off. When did they cut us off? They cut us off after everyone else showed who their rivals were. As you said, they only showed us the first one. But to summarize, no one picked Brave Girls as their rival, which makes sense.
Yes, absolutely.
Brave Girls to me, it makes sense shady. You know, those artists that when we said this last time, those artists it's they're doing their thing, and then they blow up. No offense, Doja Cat. She's been working for a while, and then what was it? Female dog, I'm a cow. I don't want to say the B word. Mm-hmm. I mean, I say it, but I don't want to say it here. That blew up and all her viral stuff, and then they milked her like a cow. Yep. And now she's tired. But again, no one was expecting her to blow up, and then she did.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like that, not in the same vein, because but yeah, kind of sort of, because Doja just kind of blew up with Say So. That was in 2020.
Yeah, I think
so. And it just happened fast.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're kind of not in the same vein, but the Doja Cat and K-pop to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're just they're kind of a novelty. They're not really a threat.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think it was good that LOONA picked the WJSN as their rivals because, yeah, they are
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to just keep saying what I have to say. WJSN is what LOONA would have been if they kept their direction. Not in the sense of their same stuff, because they're different groups. But if LOONA was and we're not talking about the girls because they have little control over their stuff. I mean, I guess they have some control now. And if that's the case, then shout out to you. But if they kept the original direction, they would have a true discography versus the 2-time disbandment that LOONA had. With not 2-time, they disbanded once and then they came back with So What. So it's true. If we actually had, artistic integrity, this is where we would have been. Makes sense. I'm being shady. But also there's a similar amount of girls and they kind of have, at one point they had similar vibe. So that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
WJSN did not pick them, which is fair because I don't think they are a threat to them.
Yeah, I was surprised that they picked Hyolyn. I feel like their real threat, their real rivals, wouldn't be Hyolyn though. It would be, I'm leaning more towards Kep1er.
Yeah. In reality, it's Kep1er. But
in reality, but for this show, I can see why they chose Hyolyn because they're okay.
Right. Yeah, the story made sense, but in reality, it's Kep1er.
Exactly.
LOONA's rival is Cosmic Girls, but Cosmic Girls should really watch out for Kep1er.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people are going to be mad that we're LOONA, but they're great performers. I won't take that away from them, but also, I mean, the proof is in the pudding, babes.
Mm-hmm.
Who did VIVIZ choose? They also chose Hyolyn, which makes sense, I guess. Out of whose seniority is Hyolyn and them.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kep1er chose. What did they choose again? What, LOONA? It was cute that Hyolyn chose Kep1er though. That was cute.
Yeah, but I feel when I think about who Hyolyn's rival is, Kep1er is also the only one that made sense because when I think about it, Hyolyn has she's a veteran and she's been in the game for a while.
So you might get a little tired.
I wouldn't say not necessarily,
but not tired. But what I mean is that you've been doing it for so long, the spirit of wow, that fire. Even though she still has it, but it's like they're coming out the gate, so they're going to always come at everything 10,000%.
That's what she was saying, that they have more energy and she wants to match that energy.
Right.
But I was thinking about it in a different way, where she already has that clout, where she's been in the game for a while. Okay. Her only threat is pretty much the newbies, like the rookies, who can basically kind of like take over the game. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what I thought she was going to say. I thought she was going to say, okay, you know, I'm like, she's like old money and they're like new money, kind of, you know what I mean? It's two different energies.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Not old as an age. You know what I mean by
no,
old money,
I know.
right?
Like, it's like you built your foundation. You built your, as you said, old money, you built your wealth, where they're coming into their own wealth, and, you know, new money move different.
Yeah.
In the words of Tiffany Haddish, which I do not care for her, this is what fame look like. This is what money look like. That's what Kepler's doing right now. I don't know if you saw the interview where that lady said, "Oh, you have a costume change." She said, "It's not a costume. It's Dolce & Gabbana." I said, "All right, chill.
Okay.
Again, I'm a like pop culture almanac, and like everything is all relative. But she's new money to me, because new money doesn't. Old money wouldn't have to say that. Old money would just be like, "Oh, this is my evening gown." But new money is like, "Oh, it's not a costume. It's this." They have to prove something. So Kepler's always gonna. You see, it's all relatives coming back together.
Yes.
Kepler is going to have to, like, since they're new, they're always going to be boom, bow, fireworks, da 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 da. Old money wouldn't have to think like that, because they've already shown their worth. So they have to be like, well, they move a different way. Which is interesting how Hyolyn gave us such an interesting performance, because I wasn't expecting that, and I will get into those later. Really? Because or do you want to get into it now? We still ain't see who Kepler chose. Do we care?
Oh, I forgot. I forgot I was pulling it up. Okay.
We're getting in a conversation.
Sorry. Kepler actually chose LOONA.
Okay, that makes sense.
I was reading it. I was like, who's Idoli Sonyo? I was like, okay, that's the other group.
That's LOONA. You know what's shady? They have a logo and they said, yeah, we're not using it.
Why didn't they use it?
I mean, their name is spelled in Korean and it's a little font, like they chose a typeface, but they should have chose their English, like the L, like that, how it's like vertical. I would have thought that would have been a much better choice for their logo,
instead of just the writing.
Right, because I'm like, that's boring. Like, you could have done like the LOONA, again.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of LOONA, but I low-key feel like that was kind of shady, but okay.
I was a huge fan. Well, no, correction. I was a fan of LOONA version, the first one, the first original, before they changed that. Yeah. But back to the performances. Let's start with not G-Friend, that's disrespectful. VIVIZ. But they said themselves, they said VIVIZ is when a 1, 2, 3, but we are all still G-Friend. So I guess for the show, I'll say VIVIZ, but they are also G-Friend. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I like that. I like what they did. How I'm gonna always compare it to Hyolyn, but because it's just the only two we've seen. But it reminded me of like an Mnet end of year performance. Like, it's more expanded, it's bigger than what they normally do on like M Countdown or the show, but it's bigger and it's more interesting. But Hyolyn gave me a VMA performance. Like, if she was like on the MTV Music Video Awards, that is what I would expect. But for what VIVIZ did, I liked it. And I liked the commentary Hyolyn gave, because she gave it on as like a veteran, like, "Ooh, that looks pretty." Or, "Ooh, that looks like," she saw the beauty in what they did. I thought that was really nice. I
think it was really pretty. I thought their stage, honestly, if I were to rate their stage, I would say 9.5 out of 10. It was almost perfect. And
I would say 8.5, just because I think after seeing Hyolyn's, they could have expanded it even more.
I think, like, for what they were going for, I think they did it right. I think that for what they're trying to do, they did it right. They're not trying to go for something extremely like loud and extravagant. I think they're trying to go for something more emotional. And that's why I felt like having like a live band was a perfect touch to it. The only reason why I would say it's like a 9 or 9.5 out of 10 is because I felt like their vocals, I don't know if it was just me, but sometimes their vocals just didn't feel like they were all in it, you know?
Well, they're covering other girls.
Yeah,
that was
that's
the
true.
downside. That was the downside. It's that they're covering other girls. So maybe to your ear and my ear, we were like, there should have been something else here. This line sounds different. So it's gonna, that was my thing too, was the plus was they are G-Friend. The minus is that they're not all fully G-Friend because G-Friend is what, those 6 members? The 6, 7 members. I agree. I think they could have, after seeing like what could have potentially been the case, they could have done something more with the stage. Like they could have, like how Hyolyn had the stage elevated and it lowered, and then it did, it just showed like there was more potential for what they could do with it.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like Hyolyn like used the entire stage. Like she was moving around, but G-Friend was like kind of there. And then they would like come here, but they were always like in this line. Whereas Hyolyn
it was
like
stationary.
Exactly. Hyolyn used the XYZ axis. She used everything. Right.
So that's why I felt like it could have been a larger show. Like, wouldn't it have been cool if they had I mean, they did Rough and In Time for the Moonlight, right? Mm-hmm. So it would have been cool. They had, the big, like all the school kids, they twirl and spin. It could have been just so much bigger. Or like that thing where they did the lights, the little firefly light thing, that could have been larger scaled. I just think that after seeing what the potential, but again, we don't know how much funding they're given for this. And Hyolyn has her own money because she owns her own company.
She has own money.
This is what success look like. I'm sorry. I don't hate her. I just like Tiffany Haddish, and they keep playing that cut everywhere. Anyway, but that's what money look like. I hate it. Anyway, but yes, you're correct. So I think there was an advantage for her being able, like I bet you that's her own studio that she was in. That was her own little room that, she was in. I know that Sistar Money stretch. They keep playing Sistar music to this day. So I know the little.
Oh, I know every summer they get a nice fat
little
check.
Royalty.
And matter of fact, every snow day, I bet there's people blasting the Sistar summer tracks. Like, now we need summer back.
I feel like when it's winter, I feel like G-Friend gets a little check.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, oh, the snow, it's rough. But yeah, I thought for what I think, it was a great performance. I just think now that and it's so funny how I'll comment, when they saw Hyolyn's performance, the leader of VIVIZ was like, see, do y'all see this? Y'all see? This is what we're doing for round 2. Y'all notice? Y'all taking notes? Oh, all right. I thought that was so funny. But it's true. Like, she expanded. Well, now we're on Hyolyn, but I think unless you have anything else to say about VIVIZ.
Oh, I have a lot to say about them. I didn't really say much, except for that the stage, I only talked about the instruments, but
okay.
Like, if I were to pinpoint everything that I like about their stage and why, I feel like it's a high score, 9 out of 10.
Oh, it wasn't a bad performance. I just think it could have been like it was a B+, and they just needed to expand it. Expand it, like use the whole stage. What can this raise up? Can this raise down? How can you utilize that? But again, is it necessary? Because I think from season 1, a perfect example of is it necessary was Lovelyz when they made I Choose Sexy, which was a wild moment. So I think for what they did, it was great, but I think just with their catalog of music, they could have expanded it just a tiny bit. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying I want to see. I guess it's a good first stage because I want to see more.
Yeah, I think that their stage was fine. When I think about what G-Friend is, they were never really like that extravagant anyways. And I feel like that's why their performance was emotional. At least they almost made me cry. I was like tearing up watching it. But I feel like their stage was just, I don't even know how to put it into words. It was just perfect. It's who they are. It basically was a perfect encompass of what they are, especially with the debut. I feel like using the debut dates though was kind of cheesy, but it is what it is. It still represents like who they are.
I think, and this is my opinion, they are G-Friend, but also VIVIZ. So I think they could have showed what VIVIZ is, like the spirit of VIVIZ through the G-Friend prism, Like,
well, I feel like they did that though, because there was only 3 of them, and it was kind of clear the point that they're trying to make. Like, there's 3 of us now, but we still have that energy of G Friend and VVZ.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, I guess. I still want more, which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, I just think that if it's the stage wasn't like
I wasn't expecting fireworks. I just think they could have used, like, it could have been instead of it being in that one space, it just could have been a larger impact. They have such beautiful just like choreography too. I think it could have been expanded, but I don't know.
I feel like it's just because me and you have different views on what using the stage is, because I felt like they did. To me, I feel like they actually did use the stage, and it was impactful, because the time for the Moonlight, when they did that, it was like really condensed. Yeah. And then once they started Rough, it expanded, and they brought in, like, if you want
backup dancers,
not the backup dancers, but like the people playing the instruments, the band.
Oh, okay.
To me, that's them also using the stage, but instead of like Hyolyn, who's like circling the stage, you know what I mean? They started small, and then the stage is like expanding, and then they condensed it at the end. You know what I mean?
I see your point.
So rather than traveling, they kind of like expanded the energy and then like brought it back in.
It could have also been the camera work too.
I just rewatched it on like the full stage cam, and that's why I was saying it was giving me that energy, because I rewatched the full stage cam, and it gave the same feeling too.
I mean, no, saying like I didn't see the full stage cam, so I only saw what the show showed me. So I'm not seeing every detail that maybe you saw.
That's true, because
that's what I was saying.
If you only watch the edit that they did, it's kind of like they're dancing here and they're like dancing here, and then it cuts to the band and it cuts back to them.
That's how I was like, it felt small versus like
when you watch the full stage, stage is a totally different vibe.
Right. I just felt like, this is your opportunity to create a world. But that's just, I'm not downing them because I really liked it. I just like, I'm looking forward to what they're doing for next round.
Yeah.
But they're definitely not last.
Oh, for sure. Oh, no way. Do you want to talk more about Hyolyn now?
Sure. I think she thought critically of what song she should do. She made the best choice, like in terms of her discography. Like, I'm glad she didn't choose that other.
What, her sexy songs?
Yeah, it wouldn't have been the right choice.
Exactly.
And it's interesting how she didn't think about I'm glad she chose a Sistar song. If it wasn't that song, it would have been shady to do My Boy all by herself. So maybe that's why she couldn't do it.
When I was thinking about, like, when she was naming, I mean, okay, this is the thing. I already knew what song she was going to do because, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But when she was just listing the songs that she could do, and she was like, oh, I have hits as Sistar, and she named like this boring, sorry. The song is boring to me. Some of those songs are boring to me. I was like, don't do those Sistar songs. And then she started naming her newer songs, her solo songs like Dolly. I was like, girl, don't do Dolly on that stage. Don't do that. The only option to do is Touch My Body, because it's a cute summer song. It's fun and it's sexy, but it's not Dolly sexy. It's summer.
It's a song where if we can play it at a family reunion and they'll be like, what's this?
Yes.
It's giving me that. Like, oh, I like that song, man. I don't know what they're saying, but if you can electric slide to it, it's good.
Yes. That reminds me of us electric sliding to Wonder Girls.
It was one of their songs from Reboot.
Yeah, one of the Reboot songs.
Because does that song even have choreography?
They step right, left, right.
Just like the electric slide.
Do a little, yes. They do a little bit of a, what do you call that? A grapevine to the right, grapevine to the left.
Yeah. But no, I really like Hyolyn. As I said, I think I would have liked to sing VIVIZ, because I'm sure they put a lot of effort into working with the dancers too. But I guess because Hyolyn is a dancer, I guess she led the workshops to make sure her backup dancers were good, which is really cool. I didn't really understand, they said, oh my gosh, her shoe, is she okay? And I'm like, y'all making it so, it's Mnet.
It's Mnet, exactly. That's why I was like,
I'm like, she's pouring fine. Yeah, it's fine. Y'all could have cut that part out. It didn't really add into the story. I guess other than oh, my shoe almost fell off, but we had a backup or something, whatever. Yeah. she definitely to me set the standard of like where they should hit next time. Because she said, as I said, welcome to paradise. I said, ooh, she turned it from just a fun summer song to a tropical moment.
Yeah.
And she did throw her little sexy, her little her little on the floor, pow, pow. That, you know, she tried to throw it in there, but she was tame, which is good. You know, she, you know, am that. And then what made me feel like it was MTV VMAs was just her use of props, you know, throwing the confetti. Just it was a moment. As I said, wow, it's a festival. It was really fun to watch.
It was,
and I think that was really it was really entertaining.
Yeah,
it wasn't like, I think the ad libs at the end were a little somewhat, but at the same time she performed the whole song by herself. So of course, like that's
I liked her ad libs at the end, but maybe. I really liked
wasn't
her
bad.
voice.
I just felt like it was like I was like,
I think I'm giving her a pass on that because right before the ad libs, she basically did a dance break and then she started singing, and I'm like, that's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, you done so much, you don't really need to go the ham at the end. Like, give us a good two. But that's that. I'm just being nitpicky because it was a really good performance. I don't have there wasn't really anything bad to say.
Oh yeah, to me it was a 10 out of 10. If I could vote, I would vote for. I mean, we only saw 2 stages, but I feel like there's no topping this. To me, that was a top, and I also have that nostalgia bias because that was when that song dropped. That was like that was for me one of the peaks of K-pop. So to me, that song felt really nostalgic that she was covering it. And I almost cried yet again. I just think that every stage is going to make me cry, or almost cry at least.
Are you going to cry for Kepler? It's you and me.
Again.
Unless they perform Mask.
Ooh, Mask.
Unless they perform Mask. If they did that and they give us an expanded stage, I'd be like, okay. All right. Okay.
When I first watched Hyolyn's stage, I thought that because I saw them like serving her the glass, I thought it was a real drink, and I thought she was gonna drink in the middle of her performance. I was like, "Girl, you're crazy." That'd have
been real. They'd be like, "Okay, girl, I think you on it."
I thought that's what she was gonna do exactly. But the confetti was cute. It surprised me.
It made it fun.
Exactly.
I wonder what the KOFI girls did to cry.
This is the thing. I think that probably, if I had to guess, one of them probably messed up their high note. And the reason why it's such a big deal is because think about it this way, like for Cosmic Girls, even though their fandom is kind of stable, they still want to grow more. And this is kind of like their last chance to grow more before IVE completely takes over them. Exactly. Right. So if you mess up like this type of stage, it's going to be a big deal.
Well, I don't see the IOI sweetheart messing up her high note. She's been consistent throughout her entire career. The other main vocalist, I don't see her messing up either. Either one of them slipped or one of them messed up their note. But they're not known to be like that. So that's gonna be crazy. I wonder what they did. I wonder what
maybe they almost messed up the choreography, because I know G-Friend almost messed up. You can't see it in the camera that you can't see it in the stage that Mnet edited, but you can see it on the full cam.
Okay.
Remember at the end of the G-Friend stage when Sinbi put the crown on her head? So right before that, one of the backup dancers was passing the crown to her, and I think the crown got stuck on the backup dancer's like outfit or something, so she had to yank it off and then give it to her real quick, and she put that thing on real quick. I was like, ooh, that could have been real bad.
I mean, we've had moments like that ourselves.
Yeah.
Ari's but earring fall off.
Yeah.
Hey girl, if you're watching.
So they probably made a mistake like that. And then when it's live voting and live.
Every little small thing. Yeah. Oh, Brave Girl said, well, I want to go home. Should we turn back?
Oh, I wonder what kind of stage they're gonna give.
They might surprise us, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I think they probably thought more small scale than they could have expanded more. Like, again, my note was small to G-Friend. My only thing was like, they could have expanded a little bit more and created a world. But I think Brave Girls might have not created as big of a world as they could have.
Yeah, I think that
that's my assumption. I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll see when it drops.
I wonder
LOONA won't be competing. Unfortunately.
They won't? Oh, because they got COVID.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was actually kind of upset about that because remember I was telling you like LOONA's one of the artists that I'm excited to see because I don't really know much about them. So I wanted to see more. So and then they're not even doing this stage.
They could zoom in and put little green screen background.
Oh no. I hope that they drop at least some sort of video. Like obviously they're gonna have to be in last place because they didn't perform, but they should still get like a couple points and drop a little video like you know how in Queendom they didn't perform in front of a live audience, they just did like stages.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if LOONA could do something like that, and just for
the
at
only
least
person, only 1 out of 12 didn't get COVID.
Wow.
So they're probably like, let's put her in her own
solo stage.
No, that's VIVIZ.
Oh.
Yeah. She could sing her little solo song.
What is it?
It's kind of dry.
Well, okay, if they just give something and just say, okay.
That'd be nice because she don't get no lines. She's like honestly, how they use her is like she's an echo of what someone else said.
Oh, like Timmy and Tommy in Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I don't know them. I'm just
no, you're right. Like, welcome.
Oh, but I hope they do something like that. But it seems like they won't. That'd would be nice
for her. It'd be
like
nice.
Let's say it's 6,000 maximum points, and like team like whoever's ranked 5, maybe they got like 2,000 points. If LOONA can upload like a little video on the side, like a mini performance thing, just to get like 200 points, because they're gonna start with 0 points, and at the end, it's gonna be hard to catch up.
But you know what? I'm back on your idea. She should just do her solo song when they were. I would love to hear her da 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 that little slow song. That'd be cute, and then have backup dancers. That'd be nice.
Exactly. And then remember that the audience is like split between different fandoms. So I know that some of the orbits would still vote for her, even if her stage was terrible.
I don't think her stage would be terrible. It would be like, oh, look at her go. Her members aren't here. She's trying her best. She's representing LOONA. They're not going to do that, but I would love it.
She can like just do So What completely on her own. Can she sing and dance?
She can sing and dance, but I don't want that. If it's all by herself, do her own song. It ain't like you're going to be able to sing it again. This is your time.
It would be nice to see a solo stage of So What. The other day I was on TikTok and there was someone who did who covered Nmix OO, and it was just one person covering the song. And I was like, oh, this is so entertaining. Yes. I was like, this is great. She could do that on her own too.
If Nmix was in here, I want them to do the freaky fishy.
I don't know how the dance goes, but
I know it's the freaky fishy. I'm like, yes, but you notice how they don't say freaky fishy no more. They say freaky freshy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because they don't want no one to keep clowning them. Anyway, they are not in Queendom. It would have been cute if they were. They only got what, 2 songs?
Oh, just Kepler like would have some threat.
They would. That'd been cute. Oh, goodness.
They need to do a little princess competition with Eyes and Kepler.
Nice.
No, what we needed was Road to Queendom.
We did, but
because why am I saying princess? What I'm actually asking for is Road to Queendom. Sick.
I don't have anything else to say. I mean, good show.
I don't
great
either.
Performances.
I mean, we've seen half the episode.
From episode 0, yeah. Someone said they're sick for kicking Promise 9 out and giving it to Kepler. But I mean,
is that actually what happened?
Yeah, they're in talks, and I guess. But Promise 9 tired. Do you know how much they promoted DM? They promoted that song a lot, and then from going from promotion to a survival show, I'd be tired.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like Kepler on this show because they literally just debuted, but it kind of adds some flavor. Like, spice. Are you guys gonna let this little rookie group with one song demolish you in this competition?
They can't do that. I mean, if they do Wadada, it has to be bigger. But I don't want it. If they do Mask, I will be gagged because
it will probably be Wadada with a dance break, and then maybe Chaehyun is gonna do her Black Mamba high note voice cracking. I don't know.
You're so wrong. We can't let her live.
I love her, so it's okay.
You notice how they're trying to let her be center for that show, right?
Yeah. No, they're trying to make Yeso center.
Oh yeah, they keep cutting to her. Yeso was singing, getting screen time.
Yes.
This makes me remind me of middle school. I said, girl, sit down. You got homework to do. Go sit at the table, get that stuff done. I'm gonna check it, and then you can have your after school snack.
They love Mashiro and Yeso.
They like cutting to them because their faces are just like,
yep.
and Yeso's a good like misty-eyed smiler.
Yeah. Yeah. You mean like that hopeful eye? Like she has like that sparkle eye, like, oh my God.
No, like she looked like she about to cry, but she's smiling through it. Oh. She did that through Girls Planet, and I think that's how she got in. Because when they finished doing the stage for like extra benefits, whatever, screw you to the girls that actually should have gotten in, but we're gonna do this last hootenanny that made it that still mad at that. How Young Gun got like 3 extra servings of points. Anyway, since we already on this topic, Ruan, I hope you're eating well, baby girl.
Why is it always Ruan?
It's your fault. You bring her up from time to time, like, you know what? It's true. She will always get us a cameo. We should just put her face somewhere. Anyway, that was episode 1 of Queendom. I wish they didn't show all of it. Basically all of it.
Yeah.
They could have just kept that.
They really could have just showed us just the opening show and just like kept all of episode 0 actually.
Yeah.
Because if we just had the opening show, you know what I mean, which was at the beginning of the episode anyways, then everything after that would have been completely new.
Because all we really saw that was new was 2 performances.
Exactly.
But at least, episode 2 will be completely new. We won't know what's happening. I'm looking forward to seeing Kep1er do Mask. And then they're going to break into Utopia. And then Hikaru's going to be Utopia.
Do you think Mnet's going to give Bahiye screen time?
No.
Great. Like, no, they're sick. They're so sick for that. Mnet
has she gotten screen time yet?
Mnet hates her so much, and it's too obvious. But that's another topic for another day.
They had a different idea for the. I mean, they couldn't rig it, so that's what happened.
Yeah, they don't like half the girls on that team.
No, they don't. If it was rigged,
that's okay. That's another topic for another day.
We're gonna have to bring back the Planet Guardian podcast to talk about our feelings again. Yeah. We're not done. But thank you guys for tuning in today. I hope you had fun watching the show as well. Let us know your opinions about the last 2 performances. Did you like them? I guess what I'll ask you guys is to give out of 5 stars for both performances, and you guys let us know, what's your ranking for each one and why. And keep spilling the tea in the comments. We like reading.
Oh, I love reading the comments. People will be going in. They have so much to say. I learned a lot of new things too in the comments. Oh, also someone said that the other Cosmic Girls members will be coming back. I think one of them has an anxiety issue. Right. And the other one has schedules,
no.
So
the 2 Korean ones will come back.
No, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Them Chinese girls are not coming
we already
back.
Knew that. That was cute, though. I think for their anniversary, they posted all the members, including the Chinese girls. I was like, you guys are so cute.
No, because they're contractually obligated.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, that's the only team activity they're going to be doing. Those girls are never coming back.
But yeah, we definitely want to hear your guys' opinions.
Right. Keep yelling at me about LOONA. I like those comments. Y'all be letting me have it.
They be educating me because I'm just like, I don't know these people. I only know Chu. And they're like, okay, well.
One comment was like, one guy was like, this guy will never be happy with LOONA. I'm like, you're dang right. Gave them 3 chances and they messed up each time.
Well, they can stay and leave more comments because they can persuade me to like LOONA more than besides Love Cherry Motion. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. We'll talk to you next Sunday. Mm-hmm.